Okay. So today's topic, as you can see, it is permutations and combinations. Some students might have skipped this chapter, okay, at school, whenever this chapter is introduced to you. Some students who were not able to follow this chapter would have skipped this chapter and okay, gone for other chapters and still scored marks. So in academic exams, generally you have a choice. Okay, so you can focus on some chapters and get marks. But from the competitive exam perspective, you don't have a choice. Okay, so when they conduct an aptitude test, okay, you don't have a choice. All questions are compulsory and sometimes carry equal marks. Okay, so let's have some knowledge about this chapter, which will definitely help you to answer some questions. So permutations and the combination. So if you don't feel like calling this chapter with the name, okay, same name. So let me identify this chapter by name, counting. So if you don't want to call this chapter permutations and combination, it is absolutely fine. So you need not call this chapter as permutations and the combination. If there is some, okay, so you are little allergic to these words. Okay, don't call this chapter as permutations and combination. You call this chapter as a counting chapter, because in this chapter you will only count. So I'm just putting some dots on the screen and I am going to ask a question after a while. So please observe the dots, and one question I am going to ask. Girls, don't expect I am going to draw a mugu on the screen now. I am not going to draw any mugu. Okay. So how many dots are there? How many dots are there? Okay. So instantaneous answer, how many dots? So that means you are counting the rows and you are counting the columns. Okay, so you are counting rows and columns, and okay, instantaneously you told answer as 20. So if I ask a second class boy, girl who can count up to 20 numbers, they put their little finger here and then start counting. And once they reach here, they will also say it is 20. So basically they are using a plus operator to count, plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. You used a multiplication operator to count. You use a multiplication operator to count. They used a plus operator to count. So in counting, basically you count things, okay, by plus and multiplication operators. And in this chapter, we will only count. In this chapter, we will only count. So one more question which I am going to ask you, just observe this diagram again. So I am at a place, okay, Hyderabad. This is not my native place. So I have to go to my nearest mandal, okay, where that is, okay, say I am saying something like a mandal. And my village is still, okay, little far away from that mandal. This is actually my village. So during, okay, so vacation like Sankranti or Dasara, I, okay, travel to my village. So from Hyderabad, if I, okay, look at the connecting part, so there are three routes, okay, so there are three routes which will connect, one, say two, and three routes which will connect to the nearest mandal, okay. And from there, okay, so again I have to take, okay, so the sharing auto, something like that, and then reach my village. Okay, so there are two ways, okay, to reach my village. So now the question is, in how many ways I can reach my village from Hyderabad? Any ways lo nenu I can reach my village. Three routes which connect to my mandal, okay, nearest mandal, and then from there to village. There is no direct access to village. Straight away, there is no route which connects to my village, but I have to go to the nearest mandal. Then only I will be able to reach my village. Tell me how many routes? Yeah. Okay, so some of you are able to get it. Those who are not able to get it, you need to focus. Say, identify them as A, B, C routes. And then this is 1 and say this is 2. So I can take A and 1. I can take B and 1. I can take C and 1. So similarly, I can take A and 2. I can go root A and then root 2. Again B and 2. Again C and 2. That means how many ways? 6 ways. How many ways I can reach my village? 3 into 2. Basically, this is called, okay. So this is 3 and this is 2. Multiplication is giving me the number of ways. Multiplication is giving me the number of ways. If I have to put it little theoretically, if I have to put it, multiplication rule. Theoretically, if an operation can be performed in R different ways and a second operation can be performed in N different ways, then both operations performed successively in R into N ways. So here initially we had 3 ways and then again 2 ways from mandal to village. So this is something like a multiplication rule here. 3 into 2 will give me 6. So if an operation can be performed in R different ways and a second operation can be performed in N different ways, then both can be performed R into N ways. So let's take an example to get clarity. So now look at this. So everybody please observe. Okay, so this weekend I want to buy a t-shirt or a top and I go to the nearest mall. And in the mall you have different brands. And each brand is also giving me little price variation depending on the material or the pattern or the design which I am selecting. So I wanted to go for the first one. Okay, so 700, but my friend suggested material is not good. If you can afford another 100, this material is very nice. So each brand offers me 4 price variants. Okay, so color choice, I have decided I want to go either for red or a blue. So now tell me how many ways I can choose. Okay. How many ways? Okay. So let's look like this. So straight away red color brand and then the, okay, I have 4 options to choose depending on the, okay. Then with the second brand also I have 4. With the third brand also I have 4. This is with one color. So I have 12 options with one color. So 2 in terms of color, 3 in terms of brand and 4 in terms of price. So totally in how many ways I can do it? 2 into 3 into 4. Simple multiplication rule. I am just using a simple multiplication rule. So number of ways I can choose the color. 2. Decided that I should go for a red or a blue. I have 3 brands and then 4 price variations in all. Okay, the number of ways the output can be chosen is 24 ways. Okay, so now we are getting into the topic. What is permutation? Okay, so identify by the keywords. Okay, identify by the keywords. So what are the keywords here? Okay, what are the keywords here? So I'm just writing these keywords. So the keywords is arrangement. The keyword is arrangement and order. So the keyword 1 is arrangement. Second is order. So how do you understand these words arrangement and order? So let's understand it by an example. Let's understand by an example. All of you have bank account? Yes or no? No. So if you have a bank account, you have a card associated with that. Your ATM card. Yes or no? No. Debit card. Yes or no? No. Okay. In that case, you also have a PIN associated with your card. Yes or no? No. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask your PIN. So assume that, okay, so 4, okay, so my PIN, okay, I'm telling you 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, not real, fake, right? So let this be my PIN 5, 6, 7, 8. What if okay, so I have to come to the class in a hurry. I want to draw some cash and I was keying in 6, 5, 7, 8. Number same, just little swapping is done. So will it accept? Definitely it is not going to accept. Okay, when I had set my PIN, okay, so there is some order which I followed or I made some arrangement so that I can easily remember my pin. I can easily remember my pin. Some arrangement is made or some order I have followed while resetting my pin. Okay. So when this order is right, 5, 6, 7, 8, the system is expecting in the first place I key in 5. Any other number other than 5, it says it is wrong pin. Okay. So the arrangement order is very important here. Arrangement order of the digits or the alphabets, okay, is very, very important. When the order is important, when the arrangement is important, this becomes a permutation. This becomes a permutation. Lucky you have only two things. Either should be a permutation or a combination. So, ఒకటి కాకపోతే ఇంకోటి అయిపోతుంది. So please remember at least one of them so that confidently you can answer the questions. So either you pick up permutation, okay, or you, okay, get the combination. One of them will help you to, okay, mark the answers right. So permutation, order and arrangement is important. And here we go with the pin example. Here we go with the pin example. The order of the digits is very, very important if I have to, okay, so do some transaction using the pin. Okay, so just curiosity. I am asking you now a question. So in how many ways I can choose my pin? In how many ways I can choose my pin when I have 4 places to fill up? Okay, one answer is 24. Others, ఈ ప్లేస్ చూస్ చేసుకోవడానికి in how many ways I can choose my pin? 48. Question అర్థమైందా మీకు? Have you followed the question? I'm only asking if you have to reset your pin, how many ways you can reset your pin? Okay, so think logical now. What are the digits I can use to reset the pin? 1 to 9. Excellent. I can use any of the digits 1 to 9. Agree or disagree? Superb. I can also use 0 because it's a pin. It's okay. It doesn't have a numeric value. It recognizes. Okay. So 0 to 9. How many digits I have? 10 digits I have to fill up the first place. To fill up the first place, any digit from 1 to 9 and 0 also it accepts. So 0 to 10 means I can fill up the first place, any of the digits available, 0 to 10, 0 to 9. So how about the second? Can I repeat what I have used in the first place? Is the repetition allowed here? I have chosen a 9. Can I choose 9 in the second place also? It allows. So that means again I have 10 digits available for me to fill up. So third place, again 10 digits. Fourth place, again 10 digits. Simple multiplication rule will help you to answer this question. In how many ways I can choose my pin? In how many ways I can choose my pin? Out of the 10,000 ways, you have selected one pin. Out of the available 10,000 ways, you have selected one pin. If you have to write it or track it manually, so right from 00002, you can go up to where? You can go up to all 9s. You can go up to all 9s. Starting from 00002, 9999. So those are the digits available for you to set your pin. Those are the digits which are available for you to set your pin. 10,000 పిన్నుల్లో మీరు ఒక పిన్ సెలెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నారు. 10,000 pins are available for you to select and you have selected one pin. Able to understand? Okay. So let's move forward. Wherever the order of the objects is important, it becomes a permutation. Wherever the order of the objects are important, it becomes a permutation. So let's go forward now. The arrangement is important, order is important. How many ways can the letters X, Y be arranged? How many ways I can arrange X, Y? So I can arrange, okay, so X, Y, and I can also arrange Y, X. XY is one way of arranging, YX is another way of arranging. So two ways to arrange, right? So there are two different permutations. There are two different permutations. Again, notice the keywords here. When you talk about combination, the keywords are, okay, choice. The keywords are choice. Then you have group. Then you have select. The keywords. So identify this by keywords. One is choice. Second is group. Third is selection. These are the keywords. So then again, get an example for this so that it is easy to remember. Get an example for this, how these words choice, group, selection can be used. Say for example, fruit salad. Okay, most of the books will give you this example. Why it is easy to understand. So what happens in a fruit salad? It is mix of fruits. So whether you cut an apple first and add it, whether you cut a banana and add it, or you put some grapes or you put dry fruits, there is no order, no arrangement here. So apple can be put in the first place, apple can be put in the last place also. It doesn't matter at all. So are you getting the example clear? So grouping, choice, selection. And some of you might say you don't want one particular fruit to be put there. Okay, if you are allergic to some fruit, you will tell that fellow, don't put this one. Okay, so you have a selection there. You have a choice there. Selection, choice, grouping, and please understand here, there is no order, no arrangement. So order arrangement to lekapote, it becomes what? It becomes combination. If there is no order, no arrangement, it becomes a combination. Easy to remember now. When the order and arrangement is important, it becomes a permutation case. When there is no order, no arrangement, and you have to select, like selection generally happens, if I had to form a committee from these students, and Sunday I wanted to have a cricket match. How many of you play cricket match? Please raise your hands. This is what is happening. Now I'm selecting some of them who are interested to play the cricket match. So this is what? Selection. Somebody who's interested is opting to play. So word choice, group, select. And I group all of them. Let's play cricket this Sunday. So grouping. Okay. So students who don't play cricket, some students who play cricket, grouping. So wherever choice is there, wherever, okay. So generally questions related to selecting like committees or forming teams like football team, cricket team. So you have combination case there. You have a combination case. So are you able to understand? So get that clarity between permutation and combination. Okay, arrangement is not important. XY or YX are the same, one combination. XY or YX are the same, one combination. Okay, so enjoy this. I will have my tea. Okay, how many permutations or how many arrangements you can make? How many arrangements you can make? Tom Jerry is one arrangement, Jerry Tom is another arrangement. That is two. If you have to combine, and say this is a teleserial, okay, so children like it. In fact, adults also like it. How many combinations? It's only one combination. When it is permutations, it is two. When it is combinations, combining means numbers will come down. Combining means numbers will come down. Permutation means arrangement of things. The word arrangement is used. The order of the things is considered. Order does matter here. Pin of a debit card, numbers of a number lock of a suitcase. A permutation is an ordered combination or permutation is position. Sometimes you can also remember permutation as position. So permutation with repetition. So we already discussed all nines for a debit card. How many ways I can have? 10,000 ways. All threes. So what is this with repetition, without repetition? So earlier example, what we have discussed is with repetition. Say for example, I will take the example once again. So here I can use all the digits, okay, again and again because I'm allowed to use. So this is with repetition. This is with repetition. If I'm not allowed to use, say without repetition, what will happen now? Without means first I have 10, I already used one. Next will become what? 9. I already used one more. So next will become what? 8. Next will become what? 7. Now I am not allowed to use whatever numbers I have used previously. Whatever numbers I have used previously, I'm not allowed to use. So then numbers will, okay, decrease like this. First place 10 digits. Now one digit I already used. It is 9, then 8, then 7. So this is the distinction between repetition and without repetition. This is the distinction between with repetition and without repetition. Are you getting the point there? Yes. So without repetition. So let's take the next. Combination means selection of things. The word selection used when the order has no importance. Order does not matter. Ikkada order does not matter. It is combination. Example is fruits in a fruit salad, members in a committee. So when I have to form a committee, I have to group them. Or I may have a selection, okay, or I may have a choice. So these cases are combination. So there are also two types of combination. Remember, the order does not matter. A repetition is allowed, such as coins. Okay, I go and have tea. So which 5 rupee, which 10 rupee I give, it doesn't matter. So no repetition, such as lottery numbers. So lottery numbers are unique. Okay, so only one of them, two of them, five of them will get that prize. Okay, repetition easy to calculate. So this is what we have done, 10 into 10 into 10. Okay, so another important concept in permutations and combinations is, okay, if I have to arrange different objects, if I have to arrange a different color, okay, so cubes in a, okay, keep changing the colors. So something very, very important is number of ways to arrange three different objects. Any ways to arrange చేసుకోవచ్చు? Three different objects, how many ways I can arrange? Okay, 6 is the right answer. This is first. I keep A constant and shuffle B and C. Now I keep B constant and shuffle what? A and C. Now I keep C constant and shuffle what? I shuffle. Okay, so this is how I can arrange 6. Okay, so basically it is 3 into 2 into 1. Basically it is 3 into 2 into 1. In how many ways I can arrange? Okay, so 6 ways. If I have 3 different objects, I can arrange them in 3 into 2 into 1. So I have 4 different objects now. In how many ways I can arrange? 4 different objects. That is again keeping some of them constant, shuffling some of them. So basically I can do it in how many ways? I can do it in 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. What is this concept? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. దానికి ఒక పేరు ఉంది. What is that concept? If I have only one, I don't have a choice. If I have two objects, I can shuffle them. If I have three objects, again, I have an option to shuffle them, 3 into 2 into 1. So basically, what is that we are trying to arrive at? Basically, we are trying to arrive at factorial concept. Basically, we are trying to arrive at what concept? Factorial concept. Factorial concept. So 5 factorial, 4 factorial. If I have n different objects, then n factorial. If I have n different objects, I can do it in how many ways? N factorial ways. 10 different objects, 10 factorial. 4 different objects, 4 factorial. In how many ways I can arrange 4 different books? I have 4 books on the table. I have to arrange in a shelf. In how many ways I can do it? I can do it in 24 ways. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. I have 2 different objects. In how many ways I can arrange? 2 ways. This is one arrangement. I did not like it. I will change it like this and say another arrangement. So basically we are getting into, okay, factorial concept depending on the number of objects, different objects. All of them has to be different. So number of ways to arrange. Slowly we are getting into the formula. Number of ways to arrange R different objects from N. Number of ways to arrange 5 students from 8 students. So I have say 5 chairs. This class, 8 students are standing outside. So any one of them can come inside. So any one of them. Okay, equal opportunity for all of them. Anyone can come and sit inside. So out of, okay, 8 of them can come. So one of them is already inside. So 7. 2 of them already inside. 3 of them 4. In how many ways I can do it? So basically 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. In how many ways I can do it? Okay, these many ways I can do it. So if I have to write this in terms of a formula, if I have to write the same thing in terms of formula, n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3, the last one. So please write down the formula in your notes now. What is NPR? N factorial by n minus r factorial. What is your NPR? N factorial by n minus r factorial. So quite useful formula, just apply it to get the answer. Whenever order is, okay, so order is important, arrangement is important, you will apply permutation formula. Order important, arrangement important, okay, apply permutation formula to get the answer. NPR is n factorial by n minus r factorial. Number of ways to arrange r objects from n objects. Okay, so let's go forward. Write only formula. Okay, rest of the thing is not required for. Just write the formula. What is NPR? So sometimes you can use multiplication rules, okay, to solve questions, okay, without using formula. Just by logical thinking also you can do it. Find the number of ways to form 5-letter word from the letters World Cup. So how many letters are there in World Cup? 8 letters are there, and you want to have 5-letter words, and there is a condition. What is the condition? It must start with a oval. It must start with a oval. It must start with a oval. So just put some blanks first. Just put some blanks first, or okay, so in the exam what you can do, you can also go for just for underscores or just okay. So either I can go for, okay, so I can also go for some blanks like this and start filling up. So first get the ovals. What are ovals in World Cup? Perfect. Okay, so OU. Okay, so that means I can go for a O in the first place, or okay, so what is that? Instead of that, I can also go for U. So basically the first place, in how many ways I can fill the first place? Only 2 ways, because I have only 2 ovals. But please remember, the remaining are what? The remaining are W, R, L, D, C, P. Okay, out of 8, 2 of them are ovals. The remaining 6 are consonants. So first place, okay, so option is to fill the first place 2, either O or U. But I will go for only one of them. Please remember, even though I have option to fill 2, if I am going with O and not using U, what will happen to you? To U, I can also use U in other blanks. Because I have to fill up the first place, only one letter will occupy the first place. Either I will go with O or with U. If I am going with O, that means U is free now. U can be used in other blanks. So tell me, how many letters I have to fill up the second place now? Out of 8 letters, only 1 letter is used. So that means I have 7. Now I have used one more letter. I am having 6 left out. Again one more. Again one more. So what is your answer? It is 2 into 7. 2 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. That is your answer. Okay. So let's use. So able to get this? Okay. So let's start filling like this. Either O or U. So I can go with O or I can go with U. I can go with O or I can go with U. So in how many ways I can fill up the first place? 2 places. But definitely I can't have 2 letters, okay, in one blank. So that means if I am going with O, U is still available for me to fill up the other places. So how many there? 7. So I used one more letter. Now it is 6 letters. I used one more letter. Now I have how many? 6. I used one more. Okay, I used one more. So in how many ways I can fill up? Simple multiplication rule. I am not using a formula here. Logical thinking. I'm not using any formula here. I'm only using logics to solve this question. I have to just fill up certain letters. World Cup is given to me. Condition is first place only oval. So 2 ovals are there. I can pick up any oval. So I have 2 options there. And when it comes to second place, I have 7 letters, then 6 letters, then 5 letters, 4 letters. Okay, so next question, all of you just write it. You need not multiply it. First place, what option you have? So first identify the consonants. Identify the consonants. How many consonants? 5 consonants. What are they? So 5 consonants you will identify first. That means first place I can fill up with 5. First place I can fill up with 5. But I will use only one letter. Okay, remaining are still available for me, okay, to fill up in the other. So how many letters are still with me? Beckham is 7 letters, 1 letter used, so 6 letters. 5 letters, 4 letters, 3 letters, 2 letters. So that is your answer. Logical thinking. You have to just think logical to answer this question. So identify the consonants. So to fill up the first place, I have 5 consonants, but I will go with only one of them. Remaining are still available for me to fill up in the second place because no condition for second, third, fourth, fifth places. Condition is only for the first place. Done now. So use multiplication rules. Conditions sit by side next to each other. Group together and consider them as one object for arranging with other objects. Make sure remember the arrangement of the grouped objects. You will not follow a single word if I read a paragraph like this. So break down this statement into phrases which you can understand. So పెద్ద problem ni chinna problem ga split cheyadame, that is how you approach solving a problem. So bigger problem always should be broken into smaller parts. Sit side by side. Question will be sit side by side next to each other. Group together and consider them as one object for arranging with other objects. This is point number 1. Group them together and consider them as one object. Make sure remember the arrangement of the grouped objects itself. Okay, first grouping. So group together, consider them as one object. Say let this be the second point. And remember to arrange, grouped objects itself. Okay, so this is the third point. So let's do one question so that you will relate to this paragraph then. So to arrange penalty such that ovals are side by side. So to arrange penalty, word is penalty. Oval should be side by side. So first separate the ovals. First step is what? Separate the ovals. Group them as one object. What is the first step? Separate the ovals. Second step, group them as one object. This is the third step. And what is third step? Now try to arrange with other objects. What are the other objects? P, N, L, T, Y. So now if I have to arrange them, so visualize E and A are two friends. So you can identify these two friends wherever they are. So generally they will be together in the classroom, in the lab, or in the library, in the canteen. So before P, I can put them. I can put them before, okay, between P and N. This is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and last also they can sit. So that means 6 different ways. So what is the answer? 6 factorial. And please remember, EA can also be arranged as AE. EA can also be arranged as AE. So that means again I have 2 factorial here. So 6 factorial into 2 factorial is my answer. To arrange penalty, that's ovals are side by side always. So first step is group, separate the ovals. EA are the ovals, first step. Second step, consider them as one object. Try to arrange with the other objects. That is the third step. So identify the other ones, P and L, T, Y. Now EA can be placed before P, between P and N, and last Y, after Y. So 6 factorial into 2 factorial. 6 factorial into 2 factorial. So let's see how it works. So this is my first step. This is my first step. Separate the ovals. Consider them as one object. Arrange them with other objects now. That is before P, between P and N, N and L, L and T, T and Y, and after Y also. Okay. So that is how many ways? 6 different ways, 6 factorial. Arrange EA as AE. So 2 different arrangements. So that means 2 factorial. So what is my answer? 2 factorial into 6 factorial, which is 1440. Okay, so when you start doing few questions, this chapter also, you will start liking this chapter. It is only the starting. So once you start getting the answers, you feel like doing more. Once you start getting the answers, you feel like doing more. Okay, now. So start liking this chapter. So don't hate this chapter. So start liking this chapter. Okay. So this is such that ovals are side by side. So there could be a question again in this, like the question can be changed. To arrange penalties such that ovals are side by side, in how many ways they are not side by side? I am bringing in complementary method now. In how many ways they are not side by side? In how many ways they are side by side means what? 1440. They are side by side. So negative question or okay, interrogative. In how many ways they are not side by side? So what do you do then? So there are how many letters in penalty? How many letters? 7 letters. In how many ways I can arrange penalty? I can arrange in all different. So 7 factorial ways I can arrange. Agree? In how many ways they are together? 1440 ways they are together. So this is giving me not. Total number of ways I can arrange penalty. In how many ways ovals are together? That is 1440. The balance is your answer. If the question is not, total number of ways you can arrange minus they are together. That gives you not together. This is called complementary method. Okay, so this is what complementary method. S is the total. Okay, so S is the total sample space. So A and A complement. From this, I can have three equations. From this diagram, I can have three equations. What are the three equations? S is equal to A plus A complement. If I want to get A complement, it will be S minus A. If I want to get A, S minus A complement. S is basically A plus A complement here. If I want to get A complement, it is going to be S minus A. So this is complementary methods. To get answers for not. We use complementary methods. So total number of ways I will calculate. In how many ways together I can calculate? The difference is not together. So let's take the next one. So come with combinations. When it comes to combinations, so A, B, C, D, if I am to choose only one of them, ఒక్కటే choose చేయాలంటే I can choose A or a B or a C or a D. So basically it is 4C1. So if I have to choose two of them together, out of A, B, C, D, if I have to choose two of them together, so I can go with AB, AC like this. Okay, I can go with like. So basically, if you have to use a formula to get this, you will use 4C2. And if I have to choose three at a time, 4C3. So basically, you are selecting three at a time now. You are selecting three at a time. So, and if you want to use a formula, what formula you will use? 4C3. And if you have to choose all of them, do you have a choice now? कुछ भी नहीं है. This is something like only one. So 4C4 is 1. So please write down this in your book now. Please write this formula in your book. What is NCR? N factorial by R factorial into N minus R factorial. Just write the formula. What is NCR? N factorial by R factorial into N minus R factorial. So sometimes applying formula, you will get the answer. Just applying the formula, you will get the answer. Okay, now. Okay, so one or two questions related to combinations. A football team has 17 national players and 3 international players. So this is related to N. And 11 main players are to be chosen with the condition that it must consist of 2 international players. Find the number of ways the main players can be chosen. So sometimes problem may be big like this, but solution, okay, it is easy. Identify N, identify R. So this keywords, can you identify some keywords in the question? Choose, choice is a keyword for what? Combination. Choice is a keyword. Here you are grouping people, okay, football team. Grouping, making a selection, making a choice is a combination case. In terms of identifying numbers, so first make it international, national. So 2 columns, international, national. So when it comes to international, how many players are available for you to choose? Three of them, international. 3 international players are there. How many you have to select from them? 2 you have to select. From 3, you have to select 2. What is that? 3C2. When it comes to national, how many? 17. When it comes to R, because 11 main players, 2 already chosen, 9, 17C9. Okay, they will go up. Okay, so if you are able to write this much, you will get the answer. Okay, so another question, a committee consisting of 6 members. Okay, so you can try this paper, you can download and try it. Okay, last 3 slides. Just try to compare and contrast permutations and combinations. Order is important, order is not important. Arranging people, digits, numbers, alphabet, letters, colors, selection of menu, food, clothes, subjects, teams, keywords here, again keywords here. What is the difference between permutation and combination? Permutation order is important. Permutation order is important. Combination order not important. So questions related to people, digits, alphabet, numbers in permutation. Questions related to teams, clothes, subjects, food in combination. So get the keywords, arrangement, order, schedule. Keywords here, select choice group. Getting the keywords, getting the example. What is the example for permutation? What example I told for permutation? Pin example. What example I told for combination? Fruit salad example. So at least remember examples. It will be easy for you to identify which one it is, permutation or combination. So your NPR, your NCR formulas you have already written. Always permutations are more, combinations are less. ABC is different from CBA. It is a permutation. ABC, CBA same. It is combination. Combine చేసినప్పుడు numbers తగ్గిపోతాయి. Permutations are always more. Combinations will always be less. So get clarity. What is permutation? What is combination? So you can easily answer questions which are given in placement exams. So first of all, you have to get the clarity and practicing few questions. Okay, you start gaining confidence. So next slide is very, very important for all of you. Okay, so this is only to create some interest in the topic. Okay, so this is only to create some interest in the topic. Once you start getting that interest in the topic and once you start getting solutions, once you start getting the answers, you feel like doing more.